I think, I've had a lucky life, so I'd like the same for him. But like I said, it's not been agreed yet.
Okay.
Simon Cowell was the man who could judge a star in seconds. For decades, millions watched him on shows like American Idol, The X Factor, Britain's Got Talent, and Pop Idol. He built a career by spotting talent, reading people, and seeing things that others missed. But there was one person he couldn't figure out: what had been happening to his own son. And then one day, sitting in a doctor's office, Simon finally got the answer he had been searching for. In an instant, the future he had imagined for his son disappeared. The man known for his confidence, sharp words, and tough decisions suddenly found himself facing something he couldn't fix, couldn't control, and couldn't judge. So how did Simon react to all this? And how did that heartbreaking moment turn one of television's toughest judges into a completely different man? Let's get into it. Fatherhood changed everything. For most of his life, Simon Cowell never imagined himself raising a child. His days revolved around television, music, and business. Pop Idol made him famous. American Idol made him even bigger. The X Factor and Britain's Got Talent turned him into one of the most recognized faces in entertainment. Through Psycho Productions, he helped create stars and build careers. Success followed him everywhere, and his schedule rarely slowed down. Then 2013 arrived and brought an unexpected turn into his personal life. Simon began a relationship with Lauren Silverman. The story quickly attracted attention and filled newspaper headlines. Before long, news spread that they were expecting a baby together. The public focused on the controversy, but Simon focused on something else entirely. A new chapter had already started taking shape behind closed doors. The man who once enjoyed complete freedom suddenly found himself thinking about a future that included someone else. Excitement slowly replaced old habits. New priorities began taking root where ambition once stood alone. On February 14, 2014, that future finally arrived. Eric Philip Cowell was born. Simon and Lauren chose the name Eric to honor Simon's late father. The choice carried deep meaning and connected the past to the future. From the first days of his son's life, Simon wanted something different. He did not want Eric to grow up surrounded by privilege without purpose. He wanted him to understand effort, gratitude, and real life. As the months passed, small family moments became the brightest part of his day. Time at home mattered more than long nights away. Simple routines brought more happiness than public attention ever had. Few people noticed how much Simon's world had shifted. Yet while Simon watched his son grow, certain little details began settling into the back of his mind, refusing to disappear no matter how hard he tried to ignore them. The silent struggle. As Eric moved through his toddler years, Simon started noticing little things that stayed in his thoughts long after the day ended. Nothing looked serious at first. Yet the feeling never completely left him. Each week brought another small moment that felt slightly different from what he expected. At first he pushed those thoughts aside and focused on enjoying life with his son. But some details kept returning and quietly demanded attention. What seemed like ordinary childhood behavior slowly began creating a picture that Simon could not fully understand. As Eric approached his second birthday, one difference stood out more than the others. Children around him started using words and short sentences. Eric remained mostly silent. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months. Simon kept waiting for that breakthrough moment everyone talked about. He told himself there was still time, and that every child followed a different path. Family members and friends offered the same comfort and encouraged patience. Their words helped for a while, but they never completely eased the feeling growing inside him. Then another pattern began appearing more often. Busy places seemed difficult for Eric. Crowds created discomfort. Bright lights pulled his attention away. Sudden sounds brought strong reactions. Sometimes he covered his ears. Sometimes he turned away from the noise around him. Simon first believed those moments would pass naturally with age. Instead, they appeared again and again in different settings. The repetition made them harder to ignore. Away from public attention, Simon carried these thoughts everywhere. His success had always come from noticing details that others missed. Years in entertainment taught him how to read people and recognize small changes. Now that same instinct focused entirely on his son. Sleep became harder. Quiet nights turned into long hours of thinking. He read books about child development. He searched articles online. He looked for explanations that could connect all the pieces together. Yet every answer seemed to create another question. Through all of it, one truth never changed. His concern came from love. He wanted understanding, not perfection. He wanted guidance, not excuses. Then an ordinary family trip placed everything under a brighter light and brought a moment that neither Simon nor Lauren could push aside any longer. The heartbreaking diagnosis. Simon planned the trip as a chance to relax, spend time together, and create happy memories away from daily responsibilities. At first, everything seemed normal. Then, small struggles began appearing one after another. New surroundings felt difficult for Eric. Different food created problems. Changes in his sleeping routine brought frustration. Each day became harder than the one before. What looked like a simple adjustment soon revealed something much deeper beneath the surface. One evening brought the moment Simon could never forget. Families filled an open restaurant terrace. People laughed, talked, and enjoyed the warm atmosphere. Music played in the background while dishes clinked across crowded tables. Eric suddenly froze in his seat. He pressed his hands tightly against his ears. His body started rocking back and forth. The sounds around him seemed impossible to escape. Simon stayed beside him and tried to help, but nothing reached him in that moment. The experience left both parents shaken and searching for answers. Soon afterward, Simon and Lauren decided to seek professional guidance. Specialists observed Eric carefully. Assessments followed. Evaluations continued. Detailed conversations filled appointment after appointment. Months passed while experts studied every part of Eric's development. Then, in December 2018, the results finally arrived. The diagnosis was autism spectrum disorder. Simon had prepared himself for many possibilities, but hearing those words still carried enormous weight. Suddenly, years of confusion started fitting together. The report showed challenges. Eric experienced speech delays. Certain sounds affected him strongly. Daily routines helped him feel secure and comfortable. Yet the reports also revealed remarkable strengths. He recognized patterns quickly. He stayed focused for long periods. He remembered details with impressive accuracy. He understood more than many people realized. Sitting with that information changed Simon's perspective forever. He no longer saw a problem waiting to be fixed. He saw a child with unique gifts and unique needs. Eric was not broken. Eric simply experienced the world differently. Yet the diagnosis itself was only the beginning of a much larger change waiting just ahead. A different fatherhood. From 2019 onward, Simon Cowell stepped into a completely different chapter of life. The diagnosis did not change how much he loved Eric. It changed how he planned every day around him. Fame no longer sat at the center of his decisions. Eric did. Projects moved aside. Invitations lost importance. Business opportunities waited while family needs came first. A new routine slowly replaced the life he had known for decades. Each day now followed a purpose far greater than television ratings or public attention. Back in Malibu, Simon started creating an environment that suited Eric's needs. He reduced unnecessary noise. He softened lighting throughout the house. He created spaces that felt calm, predictable, and comfortable. Every adjustment carried meaning. Every change helped Eric feel more secure. Then another challenge arrived through daily support and learning. Speech therapy became part of the routine. Occupational therapy followed. Behavioral support added another layer of guidance. Progress came slowly, but it came. Some victories looked small to outsiders. A stronger moment of eye contact, a clearer word, a deeper connection. Yet those moments meant everything inside their home. They carried more value than trophies, headlines, or television success ever could. While these changes happened privately, public attention continued growing. Rumors spread online. Speculation appeared across media platforms. Simon stayed patient for as long as possible. Eventually, he chose to speak publicly. He asked for understanding. He asked for respect. He reminded people that autism did not define a person's worth or future. His message reached families facing similar journeys and helped many feel less alone. In the end, Simon's emotional goodbye was never about losing his son. It was about letting go of expectations and embracing reality with an open heart. The future looked different from what he once imagined, but it also revealed a deeper bond, a stronger purpose, and a kind of love that changed him forever. This story reminds us that real love is not about changing someone. It is about understanding them, supporting them, and walking beside them every step of the way. What would you have done if someone you loved was diagnosed with a life-changing condition? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this video fascinating, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Also, consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already, because we'll be uploading more incredible stories like this one in the coming weeks. Until then, see ya!